Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go.
Go, go, go.
This time we're at Hickory Run State Park in the western foothills of the Poconos Mountains in Pennsylvania. The park encompasses nearly 16,000 acres and is located in Whitehaven, about 18 miles south of Wilkes-Barre. Hickory Run has 381 sites, 15 with full hookups and 115 with electric only. It's heavily wooded with 2 lakes, trout streams, 40 miles of trails, and a magnificent waterfall tucked back into the forest.
It turns out that Hawk Falls wasn't the easiest place in the world to get to, but it was worth the hike. It was a different story, though, with the park's most famous feature, a 16-acre prehistoric boulder field. It was either a 3.5-mile walk both ways, or an impossible drive over rutted, muddy roads through a driving rainstorm. Finally, the park's 2 lakes provide fishing, hiking trails, and swimming in one of the prettiest settings Pennsylvania can offer.
We're here at Hickory Run State Park in Whitehaven, Pennsylvania. It's sort of central Pennsylvania. We're not that far from Interstate I-80 and the 476, and our site number 12 has full hookups, and we're at the far end of the park, and there's a couple other loops here that have a total of 164 sites. We have one of only 2 full hookup sites, and the other one is the camp host. I'm out here today trying to get a little thing done here on the campground because it's been raining for 3 straight days, so I finally got out in between the raindrops, and I said our site was right here on the end number 12, and we missed it the first time, and we ended up having to go all the way around and come in from this end because the utilities are on the back side of the trailer. I mean, it's not a bad site when you look out the window because you see trees and the backside are the same, but it's just kind of a odd site over here among all the primitive sites. I suppose the one positive here is that the water, it's been raining and that we haven't had a lot of big puddles, so this ground is very absorbent. And looking out the back part of the trail, at least we have some trees, but all last night because it was raining, there's a big group of kid campers here, some youth groups, and they were coming and going all last night. I guess they tried to get out of the rain, get warmed up, and it was slightly noisy, especially with the bands have all their beeping noises going on. But I'm glad they're camping, but boy, I don't think they're having a great time. As you can see, the primitive sites aren't bad. I mean, most of them look very level, and there's lots of trees. They have fire rings and picnic tables. That's number 15. This is, I said, the only other one that has a full hookup, but that's the camp host. I'm not sure how I ended up picking where we are, but I needed full hookups for this part of our trip and ended up getting it. There are some other ones at the other end of the campground, but as you can see, it's a very pretty setting, even in the rain. And basically all the other primitive loops look the same. Some are a little more wooded, but there you have Hickory Run. This is a little map of the park, and here's the visitor center, and our site is way at the other end here. We're only one of 2 that have full hookups. The rest, all in here, all here, is nothing. It's just primitive. Now, John's sister made a reservation a little later, and she's she's way over here. It's sort of off the road when you come in from the visitor center, and then this is kind of a mix match of stuff. There's water hookups, water and electric hookups, full hookups, and no hookups, all in this whole thing. And this is a pet loop, but it's sort of split in half. And then over here you have ones with, I think these are all have water and electric, but no sewer. Just past where the camp host is, and that's site 15, there's a little parking lot here that takes you back on what it says it's a handicap access. You can't drive back here, but I guess unless you have a pass. I mean, we have one, so maybe we'll drive back here later. Back here, if you keep following that road, there is some swings and a playground, and there's a big open space over this way. So if you wanted to play some ball or soccer or whatever, but that's not today. It's kind of drizzly. Once you get back here, there is a little fishing pier and looks like little waterfalls. I hope we can get back here later because now it's starting to rain a little harder. There's no swimming here. There is another lake here that does allow swimming. And oh, there we go. The water goes right over that little perch. And you can walk down this little path from the little road there, and there is this fishing pier. It says CCC Dam, and you can come out here fish. And right now all I'm doing is getting wet, but there you go. And here I go back before I look like a wet rat.
So this little loop we're going through now has campsites 116 through 139. It's basically the same as all the rest of the loops down here. It's no utilities, primitive tent sites. Although these sites are big enough, you could back a camper van or a teardrop or a little trailer in there. There's a guy with a tent.
You got the site right by the bathroom.
Yeah, and that's not a small deal around here, because there are some of these tent sites that are hardly within walking distance of a bathroom. So going into a pet loop now where you're allowed to have pets. It's campsites 165, I think, to 228, and it's one of only 2 loops that allow pet sites in this park.
And it's also one of 2 loops that actually have some electric.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, there's an electric box back in these ones here. This is 167 right here.
Some of them, though, you have to make sure you're going to fit because they're awful tight with lots of trees.
169, that'd be easy to get into. That's all roomy. There's a little pop-up in this one up here. 176. And this is 177.
And there's sites on both sides, so.
Yeah. And you know, if you have a smaller rig, 19-foot trailer or something like that, you'll fit in most of these sites.
Mayor John's sister is at site 341, and there's quite a few sites in here, but I said they're all mix and matched sites. Like she only has electric. The one next to her has water and electric. The one next to her has water and electric. And then you go around over to here, and some of them have full hookups. Some don't. Some just have something. But you have the big wide open space here in the middle compared to where we are with all the trees. So if you had kids, this might be a good loop to be in, because you could play ball, play anything. There's also some swings in the middle. And there's supposed to be a bathroom over there, although right now it's the beginning of mid-May and it's not quite open yet. They're doing some refurbishing, but
I'm going to take a quick drive through this loop now so you can see them a little bit closer. This is my sister, 341. This here is 340. And this is the camp post right here. That's the smallest camp post trailer I think I've ever seen. Usually camp posts have the biggest trailer in the park.
Yeah.
There's site 289. This is all in the pet zone here. 288, and then down the road just a little ways, there's an imaginary line that goes across this big field, and there's no more pets allowed. So.
And these sites over here, now these have full hookups, the ones that are...
Yeah, these are full hookup sites on this side. That's 286. They do have that beautiful field in the middle. 285. 284. Some of these are just a tiny bit short. And that's 282. 281, there's empty.
278 on
278. 378. 376 we just passed. And then some more sites on down that way. It looks like mostly tent camping. And this guy here is in site 350. And that's this little loop here. There's some cabins up behind this little loop. Looks like 5 of them. They have cool little names for these cabins. They're called Mountain Laurel, Eastern Hemlock, Brook Trout, Firefly, and Ruffed Grouse. They're pretty cool looking little cabins. That one there is Eastern Hemlock. And that one up there is pointed toward the woods, which is the way they should be.
This park is a really beautiful park. It's gigantic, it's big, it's got probably over 400 sites, but only a little more than 100 have any kind of utilities or hookups or anything.
Yeah, it's an old CCC park built in the 30s,
right.
And it shows its age, but it also is heavily wooded. It's got streams and little lakes
and it's noted for a couple of things here. That has about 5 miles from here. There's something called Hawk Falls. It's a little bit of a walk-in, but it's worth it, especially if you come in the late spring, because it's a lot of flowering trees in there.
Rhododendrons.
Right.
You can walk through a tunnel of rhododendrons.
And we're at the far loop, and there's a little CCC dam and lake, so you can go fishing there, and it's they stock it with trout, and it has kind of a unique little dam there, the way the water comes over the falls.
Yeah, we'll show you that for sure.
And there's also another beach area that has a nice sandy beach, a picnic area, so that's a nice place to go to spend the day.
Yeah, and you can drive right up to that. There's no hiking involved. Or you have to walk up
maybe a little bit, but not too much.
But
But it's also known for something else, right, John?
Yeah, a big old boulder field, supposedly. We never really got to see it, and we'll tell you that story later.
Right. But we probably could have shown you a little more of the park, but we had such awful weather while we were here. This is the first nice day we've had in 3 days. It's been raining every day, so if some of our shots are a little cloudy, you'll know why. Making our way to Hawk Falls. It's about 3 miles from the campground. There's a parking area here, and then there's a little spillway going over here. It's not a very great day, but we're going to give it a try. And then the trail is across the road from the parking lot. Kind of a dangerous way to get here, but here we go. And just make sure when you come here, no swimming, wading, climbing, or jumping. Janet, are you going to jump? It's illegal. Oh, we've got to give her a ticket. She's jumping. As we walk through here, this is also called the Rhododendron Trail, and we're here in mid-May. There's none of the flowers are in bloom, another couple weeks they'll be popping out, and this should be beautiful. Right now it's just drizzly. If you have any trouble walking, this would probably not be a great trail to come down because it's kind of steep, kind of rocky, and today it's kind of drizzly, so it's wet and could be slippery. So just be aware if you have many walking issues. It's not an easy trail down to the falls. As I was walking down the trail, there's this really cool rock outcropping, and then down here is a little side trail. Get to see part of the water running through. I think we're getting close. So one good thing about all the trees here, it is being a little drizzly, but at least I'm not getting too wet being under the canopy here. There's a cool little bridge. See how this goes. I think we finally might have made it. It says waterfalls that way. Walking through this canopy of rhododendron, and I think at the end of the road down here, that could be where the waterfalls are. They sure keep them hidden. One more trail through the woods here, and I think we finally hear something. This could be it. It could be. Oh yes, I think I see some around the corner. And there it is, Hawk Falls. Finally. Oh, there it is, Hawk Falls. It took us a while to get in here. It's about, 6/10 of a mile, but it's not an easy walk, so be aware of that. Today, with the rain, it's been kind of slippery. Another cool part over here is right above it is a bridge. Probably could have driven over it and maybe seen it from up that area. We'll have to check it out.
Well, we're headed up the road toward the boulder field right now, and it's slow going. It's about 2.5 miles, and it's raining, as you can see, but we're going to keep plugging along here and try to get up there, because we have no guarantees that tomorrow is going to be any better. Well, we bailed out. It got too wet, too muddy. We got to a sign that said exit to highway, and that's where we're going right now. We're not sure where the highway is, but we're hoping to get there. Well, we got back out to the highway, and I think we're going to make it safely back to the campground. But look at it rain now.
I just think I saw Noah go by.
Unfortunately, the best we can do is show you some photos. And hopefully we'll get back someday to see it for ourselves.
This is the CCC dam and lake here. No swimming, just fishing, but they say they stock it with trout. And it's a nice day today a little bit. I was here the other day and it was kind of wet, so I'm going to take another picture here. It looks, the deck is a lot drier than it was last time, but it looks pretty cool to go fishing off of here. Looks like it's pretty new. Nice new wood, and looks like it could throw out pretty deep, and if they stock trout in here, you probably have a good chance of catching something. If you didn't want to fish off the pier, you could come across to the other side of the lake here and stand on the shore. There was somebody fishing there the other day, and you could stand right there, throw out, and I think you might catch a big one. Well, we were a little early for all the rhododendron that's supposed to be in this park, but there was one little pink flowering bush here at the end of the lake, the little CCC lake, so I guess that's something. This is the day use area here at Hickory Run, and it's about 2.5 miles from our end of the campground. It looks like there's one person having a little picnic there, but nobody here today because the weather's been so rainy and not very good. But we'll go up here and see where there's supposed to be a beach up here. So we'll go up the hill and see what's what. Up from the main parking lot, I just noticed there is another road up here that gets a little closer to the lake. There's some handicap spots. And in season they have concession stands here, and just around the corner they got some disc golf too. So let's take a look at the lake. Right now it's about mid-May, and it says the beach right now is closed to swimming. Not that I think you'd want to go today, but probably opens at another couple of weeks on Memorial Day. But as always, we're always here too early to use the swimming beach. Not that I think I'd go swimming today. Nice pretty little lake, nice sandy beach. We're going to go walk out to the end of the dam here. See what it looks like from the other end. Almost down to the end of this cinder trail that's by this little dam, and you can hear the waters rushing. We've had quite a bit of rain. Well, this is the far end of the lake here, and there's a little spillway from out from the lake, which is right there. Down through there, and plenty of water going down.
If you were so inclined, you could walk down these steps right here, walk down this way, climb down those rocks, go out where Jill is now, and start walking across. And if you get all the way across, there's steps going up the other side of the hill, leading to a trail that goes off to who knows where.
Since I wore my boots, I got my boots on, I decided to walk out here into the middle of the rocks and the falls here from the spillway from the lake. There's a couple of dry spots I managed to come down without falling and slipping. It's really cool. I feel like I'm in the middle of the rapids here.
She may now be thinking to herself, okay, do I try to go the rest of the way across, or do I just go back? I think she's decided to come back. That's about as far out as she can get without getting wet. I don't know if I could make it up those rocks there. Ta-da! And she's back to terra firma. And with that, it was time for the rest of us to go back too. We're glad you could join us on our rainy trip to Hickory Run, and as always, we'll see you down the road.